it doesn't really matter if you call it as an issue or work type. They expect things to be exactly like as per their requirements. It doesn't really matter if you're using the word workflow or process, would be to focus a bit more on the user interface. Hello everyone. So we all know about this recent announcement from Atlassian where they talked about renaming issues. There is this discussion happening online where people are saying that this renaming of issue is not really relevant. I thought I'll probably also talk about it, and I will also talk about it with an example. First of all, because we people have been using Jira for more than 20 years, I think for someone like us, it doesn't really matter if you call it as an issue or work type or task type or item, whatever, right? I think for new users or someone who is not really from a technical background, it can be a bit confusing. This is actually applicable to a lot of different things in Jira. I can also give you one more example. In Jira, of course, we have custom fields, right? Now, I work with my clients where I tell them whenever they have like a new requirement to set up a new custom field or request for a new custom field, I always try to reuse the existing custom fields. Now, for a technical team, definitely much more easier because they can definitely live with the field name which is not exactly the same. But when you're working with the marketing team, legal team, compliance team, or your business users who are not really from a technical background, they expect things to be exactly like as per their requirements. So if you want to create a custom field for them, you have to basically fight with them, challenge them, eventually, give up and create a field for them. So basically the thing is that these small things actually matter. But again, there has to be a limit. I also noticed a post on community where someone was raising this question. Okay, we can rename issues. What next? Should we also rename projects in Jira? Should we also rename other terms or other features? Now, I think when we talk about issue, my feeling is that the word issue itself is a bit negative, and this has been the case. So whenever we talk about using Jira and whenever we are working with our clients, we always say issue type. Let us create a new issue. I think the reason is that when Jira was started or when Jira was built initially more than 20 years ago, it was of course built by engineers, and the main objective was to use Jira as a bug tracking software. I'm not really sure why it was called as an issue, but my feeling is that maybe they were trying to differentiate from Bugzilla. So they didn't really want to call it as a bug. And I think issue is probably a bit similar to bug, but it is again at the same time a bit generic as well. So I think renaming issue would definitely help for a wider audience who may want to adopt Jira, or maybe for companies or for consultants like us who want to roll out Jira or convince someone to use a tool like Jira. Even in 2024, I noticed people who use Jira Cloud, and I'm talking about Jira Cloud, not Jira Data Center, even when they have some experience or if they are not from a non-technical background. Basically, even technical people, when they log into Jira, they find it, not everyone, but some people, some users, they find it a bit more cluttered. I mean, there are so many things that are always happening in Jira, right? The moment you log into Jira, except if you're logging to Jira Service Management as a customer, then you have like a portal where things are neat and it's very clean. But when you log into Jira as a user, as a Jira user, there is so much happening, right? You have like this top navigation bar or a menu where you can do a lot of things, like you can go to your dashboards, you can go to your filters, you can go to your other options where those options might come from an app. So I think what Atlassian should focus next is not really renaming. I think renaming issues make sense. I'm in favor of that, but I don't really think we have to rename anything else. I don't really think we have to rename projects. I don't really think we have to rename workflow or we have to rename field configuration, right? I think everything else is fine. And with any tool, it doesn't really matter if you're using the word workflow or process or life cycle. The focus should be more on enriching the user experience, making it very simple for the end user to use the tool, so that they can feel comfortable when they log into Jira. What Atlassian should now think about is how they can make this user interface a bit more configurable. In Jira, we don't really have like a native way to configure themes. Maybe we can have themes in Jira. Maybe we can have a way to configure based on maybe user role broadly. Of course, we have Jira admins and we have Jira users, and within Jira users, you can have project admins. But I think we should have like one more layer or maybe a separate category of type of users. Maybe you want to configure for a user that this user is a technical user, this user is a non-technical user, this user is some XYZ type of user. And based on that particular role, maybe we can have like a user interface which is simpler, or neat. I imagine when I log into Jira, if at least things that I don't really care about as a marketing person, I should not be shown those options the moment I log in. Those options should not be hidden. I'm not really saying hide everything and don't show it at all. I think we should probably make it configurable in a way so that you only show things that are relevant for that particular type of user. Everything else can be hidden somewhere in a sub menu so that if you have to do something a bit more advanced, then you can do that. And again, I know this might not happen soon, but the next step when it comes to adoption of Jira would be to focus a bit more on the user interface and the experience of these users, because this is actually a challenge for me. And I'm sure a lot of you people who are watching my videos, if you're Jira admins, and especially if you're Jira consultants, I'm sure that you also face this question a lot where users are complaining about too much happening in Jira. Although Jira Cloud is different, I think Atlassian as a company is trying, it has been trying to make it a bit more friendly. They experimented with some different views some time back, not anymore of course. I think right now Jira looks quite good. As a normal user, if I log into Jira, it is decent, it is good. It would be better if we can make it a bit more configurable so that as a Jira admin, if we are working with totally non-technical or someone who has never really used Jira, we can just expose things that they need to see. So yeah, this is all what I wanted to talk about in this video. I don't really think we need to rename a lot in Jira. Renaming issues is fine, and Atlassian should focus on the user interface. All right, that is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much.